Our planet, a familiar sphere of blue and green, spinning silently in the vastness of space. We believe we know it well, with its predictable seasons and the reassuring laws of physics that govern our daily lives. We have mapped its continents, charted its oceans, and named its highest peaks. But beneath this veneer of familiarity, there lies a world of profound mystery, a place where the rules we take for granted seem to bend, and the impossible becomes a fleeting, tantalizing reality. This world is not as ordinary as we think. The Earth is a storyteller, and its most captivating tales are etched into its landscapes, whispered on the winds, and hidden in plain sight. These are not tales of fiction, but a phenomena so strange, so inexplicable, they challenge our understanding of the natural world. They invite us to look closer, to question what we see, and to embrace the humbling realization that we are merely guests in a world of ancient and enduring secrets. So, sit back and prepare for a journey into the heart of these enigmas. We will travel to desolate valleys where stones wander on their own, and to hills where gravity itself appears to have been suspended. We will witness coastlines sculpted with impossible precision and skies that birth phantom lights. This is a journey to the very edge of our comprehension, a tour of Earth's most baffling mysteries. Prepare for a perspective shift. What you're about to see might just change the way you look at Earth forever. In the searing heart of California's Death Valley lies a place of stark and silent beauty, Racetrack Playa. It is a dry lake bed, a vast, flat expanse of cracked mud that shimmers under an unforgiving sun. The landscape is almost lunar in its desolation, punctuated only by scattered stones that have tumbled from the surrounding hills. But these are no ordinary stones. Behind them, etched into the playa floor, are long, meandering trails, evidence of a journey undertaken without any apparent author. For decades, these sailing stones presented a profound and baffling puzzle. Some are mere pebbles, others are boulders weighing hundreds of pounds. Yet, they all move, carving paths that can stretch for hundreds of meters. Their tracks are sometimes straight, sometimes elegantly curved, occasionally making abrupt, right-angled turns. They move in parallel, or diverge on entirely separate quests. How could this be? In this wind-scoured, lifeless place, what unseen force could possibly be strong enough to propel such immense weight across the land? Local legends and early theories offered a range of fantastical explanations. Were they pushed by mischievous spirits of the valley? Or perhaps they were moved by some strange, undiscovered magnetic force emanating from deep within the Earth? Scientists were equally perplexed. They set up experiments, monitored the stones for years, and yet the rocks remained stubbornly still under their watchful gaze. The mystery only deepened, as if the stones were waiting for their audience to leave before beginning their slow, silent dance. The truth, when it was finally revealed, was as elegant as it was unexpected. It was not one force, but a delicate conspiracy of elements. In the rare moments when winter rains briefly flood the playa, a thin layer of water freezes overnight into vast window-pane sheets of ice. As the sun rises, this ice begins to melt and break apart. Now the stones are no longer anchored to the dry earth, but are instead encased in these floating ice panels. Even a gentle desert wind blowing across the vast, flat surface is now enough to push these ice rafts, and with them, the heavy stones they hold. The movement is imperceptibly slow, perhaps only a few meters per minute, a journey that can last for hours. The ice acts like a sail and a bulldozer, shoving the rock forward and gouging the soft mud beneath, thus creating the mysterious tracks. The different paths are explained by the shifting winds and the random shapes of the ice sheets. And so, the puzzle was solved not by a single dramatic event, but by a perfect fleeting alignment of rain, ice, and wind. The discovery does not diminish the wonder of the racetrack playa. Instead, it enhances it. It reminds us that nature's most profound secrets are often hidden within the most subtle and patient of processes, a quiet collaboration of forces that, for a moment, can make even the stones themselves come alive and wander across the desert floor. In certain corners of the world, there exist places that seem to mock the very laws of nature. Here, the fundamental force of gravity appears to be broken. One such location is the phenomenon known as magnetic hill. Imagine parking your car at what is clearly the bottom of a slope, shifting it into neutral, and then watching, in utter disbelief, as the vehicle begins to roll, not down, but up the hill, gathering speed as it goes. These gravity-defying spots can be found dotted across the globe, from Canada to India, from Australia to Scotland. Each has its own local folklore, its own attempts to explain the inexplicable. For generations, tales have been spun of powerful magnetic fields buried beneath the road, strong enough to pull heavy metallic objects uphill. Others whisper of supernatural forces, of ancient spirits or gateways to other dimensions that distort the very fabric of our reality in this one particular place. The experience is profoundly unsettling and undeniably thrilling. Pouring water onto the road surface only confirms the illusion. The liquid, too, flows in the wrong direction, seemingly cascading uphill. It is a direct contradiction of everything our senses and lifelong experience have taught us to be true. The mind struggles to reconcile what it is seeing with what it knows to be possible. It is this very conflict that has drawn curious travelers and baffled scientists to these locations for centuries. The desire to believe in a breach of natural law is powerful. The idea of a hidden magnetic anomaly or a paranormal vortex is far more exciting than a mundane explanation. And so, the legends persist, passed down from one visitor to the next, each person leaving with a story that fuels the myth. The name itself, Magnetic Hill, reinforces this belief, cementing the idea of a mysterious, unseen force at play, pulling objects against the relentless tug of gravity. But as with many of Earth's great mysteries, the truth lies not in a suspension of physics, but in a trick of the eye. These are, in fact, optical illusions on a grand scale. They are what is known as a gravity hill, a place where the layout of the surrounding landscape creates a false horizon. The road, which appears to be an uphill slope, is in fact a very gentle downhill slope. The illusion is so complete because the trees, the terrain, and the lie of the land are all tilted in such a way as to deceive our perception. What our brain interprets as level or uphill is skewed by the absence of a true, flat horizon. For reference, a surveyor's level will quickly reveal the truth. The car is simply rolling downhill, as gravity has always intended. But this scientific explanation does little to diminish the sheer fun and bewilderment of the experience. Magnetic Hill stands as a powerful testament to the fallibility of our own senses, and a delightful reminder that sometimes, seeing is not believing. Along the rugged coastline of County Antrim in Northern Ireland, the land falls away into the thrashing waves of the North Atlantic in a most extraordinary fashion. This is not a gentle slope of sand, or a chaotic tumble of boulders. This is the Giant's Causeway, a structure of such geometric perfection it seems utterly impossible that it could be a work of nature. 40,000 interlocking basalt columns, most of them perfect hexagons, form a pavement of stepping stones leading from the cliff, foot, into the sea. For centuries, the origin of this breathtaking landscape was explained by a story of epic proportions. The causeway, legend says, was built by the Irish giant Fionn mac Cumhail, or Finn McCool. Angered by threats from a rival Scottish giant named Benandonner, Fionn built this path across the sea to meet his foe in battle. The precision of the columns was seen as clear evidence of a giant's handiwork, a feat of mythical engineering. The sheer scale and order of the causeway are what make it so awe-inspiring. Standing among the columns, one can feel dwarfed by their size and mesmerized by their uniformity. Some are tall, reaching up to 12 meters in height, while others are short, forming a complex tiered walkway. The tops of the columns form a surface so flat and neatly arranged it feels man-made, yet no human tool could have crafted this place. The eye is drawn to the repeating hexagonal pattern, a shape of profound efficiency found elsewhere in nature, from honeycombs to snowflakes. The myth of Fionn McCool provided a satisfying human-scale explanation for a landscape that defied comprehension. In the story, Fionn cleverly outwits the much larger Benandonner, who then flees back to Scotland, destroying the causeway behind him to prevent Fionn from following. Geological evidence of similar basalt columns at Fingal's Cave, on the Scottish Isle of Staffa, only seem to confirm the legend. They were, of course, the other end of the giant's broken bridge. The true story of the causeway's creation is, in its own way, just as dramatic as the myth of warring giants. Around 60 million years ago, This region was a scene of intense volcanic activity. Molten basalt lava erupted and flowed, not into the sea, but into a river valley, forming a deep lava lake. As this vast pool of lava began to cool and contract, it did so from the top down and the bottom up, creating immense stress within the rock. This stress was relieved by cracking, but not in a random way. Just as drying mud cracks into polygonal shapes, the cooling basalt fractured in the most efficient pattern possible, hexagons. The cracks propagated slowly downwards, forming the long, pillar-like structures we see today. Over millions of years, the surrounding softer rock eroded away, exposing this incredible testament to the physics of cooling. The Giant's Causeway is not the work of a mythical being, but the stunningly precise and beautiful result of volcanic fire in geological time. There are few atmospheric phenomena as fleeting, as rare, and as utterly baffling as ball lightning. For centuries, credible witnesses, from sailors on the high seas to pilots in the sky, even scientists in their laboratories, have reported seeing it. The descriptions are remarkably consistent: a luminous spherical object ranging from the size of a golf ball to a beach ball that appears suddenly during thunderstorms. It moves erratically, hovering, drifting, or zipping through the air, independent of wind. These glowing orbs seem to possess a life of their own. They have been seen passing through solid walls and closed glass windows, leaving no mark. They can be silent, or they can hiss and crackle with static. After a few seconds, or sometimes a minute, their journey ends as abruptly as it began. They might fade away silently, or they might explode with a loud bang and a sulfurous odor. Its appearance is so unpredictable, and its duration so brief that capturing one for study has proven almost impossible. Because of this elusiveness, for a long time, ball lightning was relegated to the realm of folklore and UFO sightings. Many scientists dismiss the accounts as optical illusions, after images left on the retina after a bright lightning flash. How could a ball of plasma, a substance hotter than the sun's surface, float gently through a living room without incinerating everything it touched? The very concept seemed to violate the known laws of thermodynamics and physics, making it an uncomfortable and often ignored subject in meteorology. Historical accounts abound, adding to the enigma. In the 18th century, physicist Georg Richmann was killed in St. Petersburg while attempting to replicate Benjamin Franklin's kite experiment when a pale blue ball of fire leapt from his apparatus and struck him. During World War II, pilots reported strange lights they dubbed Foo Fighters pacing their aircraft, behaving in ways that matched classic descriptions of ball lightning. These were not excitable amateurs, they were trained observers in high-stress situations, and they could not explain what they were seeing. Modern science is now beginning to catch up with the mystery. While no single theory is universally accepted, several compelling hypotheses have emerged. One leading idea suggests that when lightning strikes the ground, it can vaporize silica in the soil. This silicon vapor then cools and condenses into a floating aerosol, which is oxidized by the air, releasing energy in the form of light and heat. This vaporized silicon hypothesis neatly explains the bouncing movement, the passage through glass, and the eventual decay. Other theories propose that ball lightning is a highly ionized knot of plasma held together by its own magnetic fields, or a form of microwave radiation trapped inside a sphere of plasma. Despite these advances, the mystery is far from solved. Ball lightning remains one of nature's most spectacular and elusive phantoms, a ghost in the storm, reminding us that even the air around us can hold secrets that we are only just beginning to understand. In the highlands where Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana meet, there rises a chain of breathtaking tabletop mountains, or tepuis. They are among the oldest geological formations on Earth, sheer-sided islands of stone that thrust thousands of feet above the surrounding rainforest. The grandest and most famous of these is Mount Roraima. Its vast flat summit, over 30 square kilometers in area, is almost permanently shrouded in a thick blanket of mist, an island floating in the sky. To ascend Roraima is to travel back in time. The cliffs are a formidable barrier, isolating the summit for millions of years. This isolation has created a unique ecological laboratory. The plateau is not a lush paradise, but a bizarre and otherworldly landscape of black, water-sculpted rock, labyrinthine canyons, and peat bogs. It is a world unto itself, where evolution has taken a strange and different path. The plants and animals found here are like nothing else on Earth. Carnivorous, pitcher plants, adapted to the nutrient-poor soil, lay traps for insects. Tiny black pebble toads, unable to hop or swim, curl into balls and tumble down rocks to escape danger. A significant percentage of the species found on Roraimi's summit are endemic, meaning they exist here and nowhere else on the planet. This is a lost world, a living museum of ancient life. For the indigenous Pemon people who live in the shadow of the tepuis, Roraima is a sacred place. The stump of a mighty tree that once held all the fruits and vegetables in the world. They see the constant clouds as the dwelling place of spirits and have long regarded the summit as inaccessible and mysterious. It is easy to understand why. The constant rain has carved the sandstone into fantastical shapes, turtles, mushrooms, and faces that seem to stare out from the mist. This eerie landscape, with its swirling mists and strange life forms, famously inspired Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's 1912 novel, The Lost World, a tale of explorers discovering a plateau where dinosaurs still roamed. While no dinosaurs have been found, the sense of stepping into a prehistoric realm is palpable. The feeling of isolation is absolute, a profound silence broken only by the wind and the trickle of water. Even today, large portions of Roraimi's summit remain unexplored. Its complex network of fissures and caves have yet to be fully mapped, and scientists are certain that new species are still waiting to be discovered within its hidden valleys and beneath its dark rocks. Mount Roraima is more than just a mountain. It is a powerful symbol of Earth's enduring secrets, a testament to the fact that there are still blank spaces on the map, islands of mystery that time and exploration have yet to conquer. Our journey has taken us to the edges of understanding, to places where the Earth itself seems to play tricks on the mind and defy its own rules. From the patient, wandering stones of Death Valley to the sky island of Roraima, we have seen that our planet is far more complex and mysterious than we often assume. These phenomena are not paranormal events but the extraordinary results of natural laws playing out in ways we are only just beginning to comprehend. They are puzzles, gifted to us by the planet. In our modern age, a world seemingly ruled by data and science, it is humbling to be reminded that there are still phenomena that challenge our explanations and landscapes that guard ancient secrets. These mysteries are not problems to be dismissed, but invitations to be curious. They fuel our desire to explore, to question, and to learn. They show us that the age of discovery is far from over. In fact, it may have only just begun as we turn our focus from distant stars back to the wonders beneath our own feet. So, the next time you look at a landscape, remember the forces that shaped it. The next time you witness a storm, think of the secrets it might hold. Keep that sense of wonder alive. For our planet is a book of infinite pages, and we have, as yet, read only the opening chapters. The greatest discoveries may still lie ahead, hidden in plain sight, waiting for a curious mind to ask the right question and look at the world in a new way.